Hello, good afternoon, welcome to today's session. My name is Enoch. This course is designed to give you the confidence to shoot at professional level, whether you are shooting weddings, babies, or landscape. We shall look at the fundamentals of digital photography, including hands-on approach and some tips and tricks to use, so that you can always have the perfect shot. A lot of people ask me what makes a great photograph. I think that is what I'll try to answer in today's session. It is an elusive question and an answer to what I think it is. And it does come with experience after practicing for several years. Let me state clearly that a lot of photographers make a lot of mistakes, including professional photographers. You only get to see the best shots in their portfolio. If you are not making mistakes, then you are not trying enough. Push yourself. And so first, I would like us to underline what makes the fundamentals, and when there is time, we can go deeper. There are also a couple of camera apps that I would recommend at the end of today's session, which allows you flexibility to launch out on manual photography and then shoot an image that you love. And so that does not mean that a great photograph is achieved with the camera on the device or the gadget you have in your hand. It is not about the tools, but it's about the mastery in the field or the output you desire. I think the more you take the photographs, that makes it. It's about how you start to understand what you are doing and how you actually do it. A good photograph actually is made up of 50% composition and 50% of how you use your camera. Let's quickly look at composition. Composition plays a very important part in photography. Learn to compose your picture properly using rules like the rule of thirds. Even in landscape scene, a good photographer draws your eyes to a specific part of the photo. The rule of third is applied by aligning the subject with the guidelines and their intersection points, placing the horizon on the top or bottom line, or allowing linear features in the image to flow from section to section. So placing a subject along those lines or at the junction of lines seems to make a pleasing image. Secondly, avoid camera shakes. This is the single biggest problem which cannot be fixed in any photo editing program. I recommend you always use a tripod when you can. You could also attach your photo or yourself to a still object like a tree or a building in order to avoid the shakes. And on the other hand, you could decide to seize your breath for a few seconds as you capture. Also, learn to introduce structure fills. Learn to use leading lines and depth of field. Learn to expose your picture properly. One great way which always works is to let your back face the light and your subject face the light. You the photographer, you let the light source come from behind you so that it will be on the subject. Then you'll be able to get good exposure. Frame your picture properly. Sometimes getting close to fill up your picture, or at worst, you can frame up your photo in the photo editing program. Not all the fill that you capture out there needs to be in your final photograph. Some photos may be better if you get rid of certain unwanted items. So frame up your subject properly by cropping the unnecessary parts. You've got to learn to use focus lock, and basically before you take picture or before you capture a photo on your phone, you should be able to select the subject and wait to have the subject focus before you press the capture. In some phones, you have to tap on the screen, and that will help you focus automatically. And also use the highest resolution and the highest quality setting the highest quality setting possible. In the previous week, I recommended that you delete unnecessary photos immediately and don't wait to do it later, because they just eat up space and so basically I have a friend, my friend Abraham tells me that it is painful to delete photographs from your phone because you may not get them anywhere anyhow. You may not get them anywhere again. And that is true. You cannot eat your cake and have it. Because of this, are you going to use the lowest resolution so that you can keep lots of bad images on your phone? I don't think your phone is a trash or a garbage can. And so use the highest quality, get a biggest size, and delete the rest so you can have quality content and space. One powerful image can tell a story and save you the boredomness of glancing through lots of bad images. Also, color is an important element that makes an eye-catching image, and I can tell you color actually catches attention, and bright primary colors tend to draw attention to the eyes. And so always allow, or also while editing, do not oversaturate image. It makes it give you another weird feeling, when it's oversaturated and undersaturated. Try to create a balance. Finally, strong simple shapes are very highly recommended. Remember that your audience will usually be viewing your image on small screens just like mobile phone. So keep things simple with strong, simple shapes or objects in the frame. I want to give an exercise and I want to ask you, is your photo too busy or complicated? Or is it too simple and strong? I think the latter gets to be better. And so how do these elements affect us? Do they catch our eye and make us pause for a moment? Do they tell us a story or even cause us to feel something, touching our emotions in some way? When something is presented to us in a form of a story, it sticks in our minds. Visual stories, that's what I mean. And what might a single image tell us? A place, actions, the characters, what they are doing, their emotions or message. And it seems a lot of the things to think about before you press the shutter button. And if you live up to these photos, it will become a part of you and you'll be able to bring out the great photos in difficult situations. It doesn't happen overnight, brother. And so you would have to learn over time, if not years of taking photographs, how to see and where to place anything that you see in your phone's camera before you press the shutter button really matters. You don't need an expensive camera to have a ministry in photography, and this has been overemphasized. Simply take some photos. We'd like to recommend some simple mobile photography applications that you can use to take great photographs and some others for editing. If you are at the bonus session, you would know your whereabouts with a Canva app. And so before you edit, here are some suggested guidelines that you can consider while editing. First, consider composition. Crop the image to create the most interesting frame and to best fit the social channel where you post it. Next, adjust the light. Is it too dark? Is the light dull? Make it fit your story. Next, adjust the light. Is it too dark? Is the light dull? Make it fit your story. Then adjust the color. Are your colors natural looking? If not, use color balance tools. Finally, you can experiment with special effects. You can add up some tweaks up, and if you open the Adobe Photoshop Lightroom, you could tweak up some effects, and then you see how they touch up with the whole subject to bring out the story or the reality that you are trying to put out. And so you may have a better idea, but a great photo is so connected with what's in each photo and less or nothing to do with the technology. You can have what you think is the best equipment, and it doesn't help if you can't see. It takes years actually to see. And so as we conclude, I'd like you to practice by choosing a location. Take 10 photos of the same objects using some of the techniques you've learned today, and then see the difference you've made. And I believe this will go a great and a long way to help you come up with become the best of photographer and the best of mobile photography. So thank you very much.